What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you doing pretty good. It has been a long layoff time for me from YouTube. It's been around 8 weeks, so 2 months. I was back at my home in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I spent some time with my family and I took my training seriously because of the fact that there was a long lockdown period and I kind of drifted. I used to train, but not that much, so I kind of drifted from my training. And then when I went there for 8 weeks, I had some goals, physical goals in my mind, so I had to crush them. And I had some performance goal also, so I was in the zone for 8 weeks. And today I'm going to take you through my training approach within these 8 weeks and how I changed my training, what was the idea behind the training, and how I changed my nutrition from fat to fit. Yes, I was kind of fat. I accumulated my body fat within this lockdown period. I was kind of training, as I told you, but my physical body was not where I wanted to be, and that is why my performance also was lagging behind. Because we all know that whenever you have extra body fat in your body, you cannot run faster, you cannot jump higher. So within this 8 week, my goal was to shed off some body fat to get in that physical fit zone, and so that I could jump higher, I could run faster. And my performance goal was to jump higher, to just jump higher. Because of that extra body fat I was carrying, I couldn't do that. So yes, the basic goal was to shred some fat and try to maintain the strength, try to maintain the explosiveness, the elasticity in my muscles. So first of all, let's go into the training aspect of how I trained, how I started training. So it started with this lockdown period. So in lockdown, I didn't lift that much weight. I didn't have any weight training. All I did was some body weight training, some resistance band training, jumping, sprinting, yes, but no external weight training. So that helped me to start from the scratch. That helped me to assess my conditions better. So when I started this 8 week journey, the first thing I did was, for a couple of weeks, first 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, I did a full body workout. So I started with full body workout. There was no kind of split. I went to the gym and I prepped myself for that journal preparation phase to build that work capacity inside me. So the sets and the reps the volume was quite high, the intensity was moderate. I was trying to build that work capacity. So work capacity, what I mean is that, for example, on Monday I went there and had blocks in my training. So there were 4 blocks. Each block had around 4 exercises. So I had to do, and the weight was around 25 to 30% of my 1RM. So the intensity was not that high, but the rep ranges I chose was around 12 to 15. So the volume was high, so I had to do in the first block that 4 exercises. I did back to back those exercises for around 3 sets, and then I moved on to another block, and there was 4 blocks. So the idea for the first 3 weeks was to get the volume, to build that work capacity. So in the coming weeks, if I add some intensity to my training, I could recover fast, I could recover optimally in those times. So the first 3 weeks was very journal, full body workout. Then from the week 4 to week 8, what I did was, the split was upper lower body Then I did some rest or probably aerobic, some kind of aerobic running or slow type of cardio, and then again upper lower split. So in that upper lower split, what I did was, again, the goal was to shred fat. So the volume of training was actually high if you compare to strength phase or strength speed phase, or whatever other than the hypertrophy phase. The volume was very high, but the idea was to build the relative strength, because again, I didn't want to go at that bodybuilder's phase. I still want to lose fat, but I wanted to at least maintain my strength. So the goal was to maintain my relative strength, or probably to build up my relative strength while shredding off that fat. So the goal was that. So what I did was I hit my high intensity exercises, my squats, my deadlifts, and my bench press in those 4 to 8 weeks, those 6 weeks. I hit that, but with not that high volume for those intensities. So probably I went in there for week 1 for example, my squats, my lower body day. I have 2 lower body days. So in first lower body day, I will hit my squats around about 80% of my 1RM. The rep ranges will be around 5, probably 6 if I'm at that lower end of the spectrum for intensity. So 5 to 6 rep ranges, around 3 to 4 reps. The goal was to maintain this strength. So while I was in caloric deficit, while I was shredding off the fat, I didn't want to lose my strength. So what I did was I gave my nervous system, my muscular system that stimulus, and then I backed off. So when I gave my body that stimulus, it kind of reminded itself, okay, yes, I am capable of lifting this weight with this intensity, but I'm not improving, but I can maintain that. So the thing was to maintain that and build up the relative strength in my very basic movement. For example, pull-ups. I want to have more, as many pull-ups as I can. So I started with 7 pull-ups or 8 pull-ups, and I went on to have 15 pull-ups with 10 kgs plate on me. So yes, that is building relative strength. Relative strength is, in brief, I can explain to you that relative strength is how much weight you can lift relative to your body weight. So when we say that I can lift 2 times my body weight or 2.5 times my body weight, that is relative strength. So the goal was to do that upper lower body split. And as I went on with my training from week 4 to week 8, I started my cardio, increasing my cardio as well. So in week 4, I did twice or thrice my times per week cardio, and then I increased up to 4 times per week, and in the week 8 it was 5 times per week cardio. But the cardio was not slow intensity. Yes, I had slow intensity days to recover from all the volume work we did, but 2 or 3 times per week it was some kind of sprinting, not high volume, not high intensity, but yeah, some kind of sprinting, some kind of anaerobic work, some kind of tempo runs. So that way I can maintain my aerobic system as well. Now we did the weight part, we did the cardio part. Now plyometrics. Again, I didn't want to degrade my performance. So what I did was I did my plyometric training every other day at the start of my workout, but not that high intensity. Probably the extensive plyometrics, some pogos, some hops, some very low central nervous system fatiguing plyometrics, so that I can maintain that elasticity in my tendons, in my ligaments, and I can maintain the explosiveness in my muscles. So that was the part that I didn't leave. So this was not particularly a bodybuilding type of workout for me. I still wanted to have that performance expect in my mind, so I never took off plyometrics from my training. I never took off sprinting from my training. I never took off lifting heavy in my training, but all these aspects was moderate and the volume was high in training, so that I can build on some muscle and I can shred off those fat. And yes, as the time went on from 4th week to 8th week, my cardio also increased. Now the nutrition, which is very important. So whatever I did in this training phase, whatever I explained you in this training phase, if I didn't do my nutrition right, none of this would have mattered, because nutrition is the very important part. So let's start from week 1. What I did was, when again in this phase of lockdown, I was slightly over my maintenance calories, so I was eating at my calorie surplus. So in the first week of this 8-week period, what I did was, first 3 weeks I came onto maintenance calories. Again, maintenance calories, because I didn't want my body to go from caloric surplus to caloric deficit. It was like direct or very steep fall for my body. So I did was calorie surplus, and then first 3 weeks I came in the middle part, calorie maintenance, and then from week 4 to week 8 I went to caloric deficit. So in this maintenance kind of phase, I was hitting 2100 to 2000 calories per day, and sometimes 2200 calories per day. But when I was in caloric deficit, my deficit calories were I started from 1900 calories. Then at week 8, what I did was the calories were around 1700 to 17,500 calories. So yes, the calories were very low, but the protein intake was quite high, because again we have to maintain, we have to see that all the cardio we are doing, all the muscular fatigue we are producing with that high volume training, we also repair the muscles. So protein intake was high, and the carbs were as low as in the 8th week. My carb intake was as low as 170 grams to 180 grams of carbohydrates, and my protein intake was around 160 to 170 grams of protein. So if you see that, it was like 2.5 grams per kg of my body weight. So it was quite high. And so the picture was to start off the maintenance for first 3 weeks for our building, when we build our work capacity, and then have a calorie deficit. Again, if you see, my calorie deficit was not that high, because again we have to maintain the performance. If I would have my maintenance calories are 2100 to 2200. If I went to 1500 calories or say 1600 calories, I would have been in so much calorie deficit that I would have not been able to maintain that performance, that high intensity training, that sprints, that tempo runs, those plyometrics, and the chances of injuries could be higher. So the deficit was not that too much. Again, my goal was not to look like a bodybuilder. My goal was to little bit shred the extra fat I have, so that my performance gets that boost. So yes, very low caloric deficit. And the other thing, apart from training and apart from this nutrition part, because we discussed this training part, we discussed the nutrition part. Now the other thing was sleep. It was very important. Throughout the lockdown period, my sleep patterns were out of control. I used to sleep at around 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I used to get up at 9:30, 10. So the sleep I got was very less. Or I can say that the quality of sleep I used to get was very less. So in this 8 weeks I slept on max to max 11 to 11:30 and I got up at 5:30 or 6. So the sleep I was getting was a quality sleep, and around 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep I was getting. So I felt really good. I felt that I was recovering from all those training volume I was accumulating while this 8-week period. So sleep played a very important role, and the fourth part is hydration. How hydration played the role, because again in these winters, especially in winters, we don't drink that much fluid, we don't have that fluid intake. So my conscious effort was to drink as much water as I can. So what the basic thing what I did was, I had this 2 liters of bottle with me, and every time I keep that with me, and every time it got emptied I again filled it up, and then I used to sip on water regularly throughout the day. So that helped me a lot, because 70 to 80% of our body is water. So you cannot dehydrate, because if you dehydrate, your performance will you will consciously see that your performance will go down. Your brain functions, your cognitive functions will not be better when you're dehydrated. So again, training, nutrition, sleep, hydration, and the fifth part is meditation. It helped me a lot, because stress, again, you're giving your body a physiological stress throughout this period of 8 weeks and high volume. There's lots and lots of physiological stress. So again, to recover from the stress, to adapt from the training volume, you have to have the less stress from elsewhere. So sleeping good, having a good sleeping pattern helps to reduce all the other stresses, and meditation will help a lot. It will help you to be aware, to be self-aware, and it will help you to sleep better. It will help you to distract yourself from that negative emotions or negative thoughts, because again, when you are in caloric deficit, you will have cravings, you will not feel good, sometimes you will feel weak, and your brain will not function properly, your body will not function properly. But again, when you're doing those meditation and getting that practice you get more self-aware. You know that yes, you have to go, you have to grind it through this, and you are aware of the situations, you're aware of the thoughts that are coming in your mind, and then you can stop those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, and get back to that focus, to that goal mindset, goal oriented mindset. So this helped me a lot. So I started with being fat. You can see the picture here. I started with that, and I finished with this kind of physique, and I'm feeling good. Currently, yesterday I hit my 42-inch box jump with counter movement, no approach, just standing there, counter movement and then jumping. So it's good. Now I'll again test my counter movement jump, not box jump, counter movement jump and squat jumps, and see that where I belong. I'm right now feeling very light. My performance, I am feeling good. I'm not feeling weak at all, and this is what I was aiming for in this 8-week period. So this was my journey. This was my 8-week from kind of fat to fit, to becoming more performance oriented. Now I can take things further. I can add more intensity and more power training. I will let you guys know that what my other training approach after this 8 weeks will be. But right now I am in this deload phase where I'm just trying to recover from all the 8-week stress I did. So yeah, this was my approach from training perspective, to nutrition, to sleep, to hydration, to meditation, whatever went into this 8-week period. So I hope this was a long video, and I hope this helped you in any way to change your approach towards whatever goal you have, to change your approach on how you can maintain your stress level, how you can maintain your training, or change in some nutrition aspect. So that's it from my side, guys. I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, and it is nice to be back on YouTube, to start again making the videos for you, some information videos, some fun videos. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you until next time. Goodbye, take care, and stay safe. Cheers.